Welcome to Advocation X, episode number 44. Time for a newsworthy Trump broadcast. A special thanks and hello from me, Clyde, and the crew to all of you beautiful thinking people out there. Before we continue, please help us further our cause by hitting the like button and subscribing for future content. Become a member and crush that bell while you're at it so you miss nothing. Disclaimer, ours is an opinion channel, but is based on facts and not the alternative type either. Questions will be answered if you're a subscribed member of this channel. However, your suggestions are always welcome, including critical analysis. So the topics we're going to tackle here and now. Trump's new plan. The Governor's Rebellion. Resurgence. Nowhere near out of the woods. My plan for reopening the world. Okay, let's unpack this right now. Trump's new plan. Nice three-stage plan. Kind of sounds somewhat feasible. Except, if you take into account the numbers, the increasing numbers, the increasing human beings that are losing their lives, the loved ones and families that are being left behind. I'm sorry. I cannot justify that plan or course of action. The only caveat and the greatest thing I heard from Donald is that he's going to do this in conjunction with the governors. Let's just hope and pray that it's not only a few governors and that he takes into account the entire picture. Now, as we know already, there are Republican and Democratic governors who are already rebelling and saying not a chance are they even willing to consider this three-point plan. It's not time. It is not the right time. They're still battling this horrible curve. Yes, a lot of them have maybe minimized the amount of admissions into the hospital versus those going out, which is great. Unfortunately, a lot of those going out are going out and leaving their precious lives behind. So, no. Three-point plan, great. Wrong time to introduce it. That's my only point there. It's great that he's actually thinking and using other people's suggestions that have some merit before he comes out and talks to the public. That's a good thing. And believe me, in the last 6 months, I have truly recognized that the Drumph, the Donald J. Drumph, the Donald J. Trump, or whatever you want to call him, he has seriously put forth a concerted effort to bite his tongue and speak what others have spoken to him. So he's actually coming out and showing that he has the ability to not be so stubborn. Put it that way. I don't know how much further I can go with that one. So let's just look at his plan and what that could mean for the future and the people of the United States of America. The resurgence could look worse than the initial curve, since people will be maybe desensitized to all of that isolation and maybe not work so hard on the second round, knowing that they weren't infected and so many people around them were totally fine. They may totally let loose, and the resurgence could be double, triple what they've suffered already. It's a fearsome thought. The statistic could be massive. So let me move on. Does this mean that they are not out of the woods? No, what it means is that they found a small little glade in amongst the forest. There's a small clearing. They can see some sunlight. A lot of work still to be done. A lot of work still needs to be done in the United States of America, as there is also in Canada and Italy and Spain and all the leaders like the UK in the amount of deaths and destruction that has come from this super bad cold illness. No one is out of the woods yet. No one and nowhere. So here's my plan for opening up the world and providing for all the economies to start moving forward. All those who are 60 years of age and above, or anyone who has any diagnosis of a compromised immune system in any way, be kept either in partial or full isolation with personal protective equipment that can keep them safe wherever they do go and whatever they participate in. They must have the proper care to make sure that all the steps are taken necessary to keep them safe and alive and healthy and happy. That's the first part of my plan. That needs to be put in place first and foremost, before vaccinations, before any kind of treatments. Those are all bonuses. Those are not the end-all be-all. Let's protect those most vulnerable first. That also means vulnerable communities where they don't have the financial resources to get the protective gear that they need, or to get any type of proper food to help boost their immune system. Like, these things need to be addressed, okay? So the next part of that is that those who are willing, not mandated, those who are willing to get back to work and fuel the economy should be allowed to go back if they are not of the previous categories. If they are capable of being healthy enough to withstand the onslaught of the super bad cold illness attacking them and recover either very quickly or in the normal course of a particular illness of its type, or even if they're capable of taking some of the drastic suffering that comes with this super bad cold illness and are able to fight back and come back, they should be allowed to go back to work. They should be allowed, with precautions, of course, set in place, to try to keep things clean and sterile, because you don't want to be passing that on to other people purchasing those products or using those services. But there needs to be some sort of path that actually can be executed, and nothing goes forward until stage 1 happens. Then we go to stage 2. The only time that the elderly and infirmed and vulnerable people are allowed to go back to a full normal life is when we have eradicated the disease. It has run its course among those who are being exposed. It has been beaten back by all who were exposed. There's nobody walking around who can infect the vulnerable ones who are now going to re-enter the whole system. But in the meantime, all those vulnerable people need to be cared for. Instead of tanking every economy and using every single penny you have to provide the entire country with a stipend, use it in the places where it's needed. Bring up those vulnerable communities so that these things cannot attack them in the future. Put the infrastructure in there. Build hospitals that can provide them with proper health care. And for God's sake, pass medical treatment for all the citizens. That's my plan. That's it. Quite simple. So, leave your respectful comments. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for growing content. Become a member. Crush that bell while you're at it so you miss nothing going forward. And once again, good folks, I must say, never give up and never give in. And remember to keep an open mind, because knowledge is power. So do your research. Regain your power. And until next time, thank you for spending time with us here on this channel. Please stay safe and healthy, doing your best to remain as happy as humanly possible. Thank you. Till next time.